Neetsel, and this is Tintin Prisoners of the Sun for the Super Nintendo. So this is a follow-up to Tintin in Tibet, which I ran last year. We're going to right away put the difficulty level on difficult. The main difference between the difficulty levels is that you have more stuff to avoid during the levels, and also the amount of time that you have to finish each level is shorter. And as you'll see, on difficult, the only way to go is just to speedrun this thing. So, alright, let's get started right away. In 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so if you've heard of the Tintin games on the Super Nintendo, you might have heard that they have this plane mechanic. So just like Surf read earlier, this game has this. And yeah, most of the mechanics in this game are borrowed from the previous one. The physics of the game also is borrowed from the last game, so it feels like you're nice constantly in this thing. Alright, so picking up some health, being careful about that little girl, because little girl can murder you in this. This dark room is a bit annoying, because you don't have a lot of visual cues to navigate it. So hopefully, yeah, that's perfect. So there are a lot of traps on the floor, and yeah, avoiding them is a bit tricky. Alright, so the Tintin games, they are kind of like built like mazes most of the time, so you have objectives that you have to clear to be able to progress. The main issue is that you have this timer on the top right, and that's one of the reasons this game is so bad, because a lot of the time, by the time you figure out what you're supposed to do, you'll just time out. Also, something well known about Tintin games is that anything can murder you. So earlier there were some little girls, but coming up a bit later in the run we'll have suitcases, little dogs as well are a big problem. And we're through with the first stage. So right away I run to the right, I duck. This fireball is RNG, and based on its movement I'll have different traps activating. So hopefully, oh, yeah, that's me messing up right there. I should have jumped, but that's all right. The RNG wasn't too mean to us, so we managed to survive. We have to duck right here. So Tintin can stumble on that carpet, which is kind of, yeah. It looks a bit stupid, but it's Tintin. Anything can murder him. Okay, hopefully I don't die here. Okay, we survive. Final screen. It really depends on the RNG here, because the fireball will be at different heights. Okay, we got through. For some reason, when you duck on the screen, the lag is reduced, so... Third stage, and this one starts introducing new mechanics compared to Tintin in Tibet. First of all, I can climb on top of some stuff sometimes. You don't really know why, but that's the way it works. Second mechanic is this really weird one that it's really hard to explain. So we have this special section with Haddock. So I'm controlling Haddock right now. Usually I wouldn't be able to run away from him, but if you waste all of his bullets, you can just start running. Okay, avoiding this, we need this branch, otherwise you can't complete the level. Help! Alright, this jump is tricky. Okay, we made it through. This other one right here. So if you have the right movement, all of this is set. So once you get used to it, it's not too bad. But the first time around, you don't understand how these shots work. Okay, now I'm taking my notes because the next stage is an auto-scroller. Main difference between my PB and the previous world record is that I read the manual, and in the manual it tells you that if you press Y, you can speed up this car, and it makes the whole section even worse. You would imagine that these cars, well, some of them, I mean, based on the color or something, you would know if they will go to the left or to the right, but no, it's kind of random. And yeah, reacting to them is almost impossible. So next one will be right and left. Here we go. Left, double right. Yeah, this stage is really annoying, and the way the game works is that even though it's an auto-scroller, I have to be super careful about what I do, because if I have more than 2 health points, the game doesn't replenish anything in terms of health. And right here, I need my health to be able to do some damage boost throughout the run. Alright, so jumping over this. So yeah, what's better than 2 planes? 3 planes. So okay, that's really, really bad. Okay, we made it through. Coming up is a jump that is probably among the worst in the game, but since I have an extra health there, it's not an issue. This game hides a lot of life throughout the game, and when you pick up a life, you can regain all of your health. Which is something that Tintin in Tibet on the Genesis didn't do at all, which makes that version really awful to play. Okay, so multiple objectives. This crane is broken, so this guy needs some tool to fix it up. So we're gonna collect a wrench from another guy. We got some bad RNG there, so I'm just going to wait. Okay, that's not great. Collisions in this game are really awful. It's like, it doesn't look like it because this game looks beautiful and sounds great, but gameplay wise this game is pretty terrible, as probably the French people in the chat can tell you, because I imagine a lot of them grew up with not this one is not as famous, but the previous one is it has a reputation, I would say. Alright, so this is an auto-scroller. If I stop, the screen can catch up to me, and if I get out of screen, I'll die. And just to show you how stupid this is, so this is when I stop, the screen catches up with me, but when I move a plane, it freezes the scrolling. And that's the way you're supposed to get across this guy, because if you just wait for him, well, you get out of screen. Completely stupid, but that's the way this game works. Alright, so this stage is kind of a stealth stage. The thing is that some enemies, like that guy in red, they will just deal 1 damage to you, but the guy in blue will just murder you instantly. For no reason, it's just the way this game works. Again, another maze, so I activated the lever. There's actually no way to figure out what it activates when you put it. There's another one which will open a door, and it's just like that. This whole game is built like that. Like, you do stuff, it doesn't feel rewarding because you don't realize what it does. When you figure out what it does, you time out and you have to start over. Also, this game doesn't give you a lot of passwords. Right here, another pretty obscure mechanic. You have to pick up this whiskey bottle to distract some guard later on. I have enough health, so I'm just going to damage boost through that guy. Picking up a life there, another damage boost. And we are going to pick up this health as safety for the next stage. Actually, not the next stage, but the one after that. Jumping on that stair to go a little bit faster, and I threw the whiskey bottle to make this guy move around. Otherwise, he stays put and you're just stuck. You can actually throw the whiskey bottle at the wrong place, and yeah, sad for you. you just have to start over. And we're through with this stage. Next stage is another auto-scroller. This game has so many auto-scroller. they really put a lot of efforts to recreate the comic book, which is really, really cool. It's a really faithful adaptation of the book, which is probably one of the most famous Tintin story, just like Tintin in Tibet. This thing was adapted into so many things. It's like it was an animated movie, I think back in maybe the 70s. It got turned into a musical in the 2000s. It was well, it's one of the stories that if you heard of Tintin, you probably know about it. Yeah, this stage is pretty straightforward. When I see a light on the left side, I know that the shot will land on the right, and I'll just stay there and dodge whenever I need. So this version, I mean, Prisoners of the Sun, Tintin in Tibet was adapted, ported as well on the Game Gear and Genesis version. This game never came out on the Genesis, unfortunately. I think people got turned off by the difficulty of the previous one. Alright, so we're done with this stage. The next stage in a PB attempt is really stressful. Right here I picked up some health to make things a little bit easier, because this stage is really, really dumb. So we have this suitcase going from left to right. This is the worst enemy in the game. I mean, Tintin just could put it away or throw it out of the train, but no, he just keep it there. These clocks, if I miss one of them, I'll time out instantly. I can actually also jump out of the wagon by accident, so I need to be careful not to overshoot my jumps. I hate this stage, it's so long. And again, in a PB attempt, you would be really careful about what you're doing, because you need that health later on to do damage boost throughout the game. But this is a marathon run, so for the last part, I'll just do damage boost and we'll be fine. Phew. This is stressful. I hate this stage. Okay, so I'm going to stay right there on the left. And then we're going to jump over the suitcase one last time. Here we go. Pick up this right clock, and then we're just going to run to the left, because you barely got any time for that one, usually. Alright, and we're through with this one. Phew. Alright, the village. So the village is the first level where if you mess up, you time out. As simple as that, even if you do the speedrun strat. Alright, so again, it's a maze. You have multiple ways that you can go. Of course, you have to go to the left, because that makes sense. We're going to damage boost through this guy, then we are going to jump over this dog, which have really random collisions, as you'll notice later, because I'm going to walk over some of these dogs and that won't be an issue. Picking up this life. The good thing about this game compared to Tintin in Tibet is that if you die, lives respawn, so you can grind levels if you know where the lives are. And coming up is one of the worst jumps in the game. That's the one that I'm a bit worried about in this level. So it comes. And we got it first try. That's awesome. We're done with this. Now we have a boss fight, I guess. We just have to avoid his punches. The thing is that you have to actually start dodging before he attacks. It's yeah, it's a bit confusing. Also, if you stay on the same spot and just try dodging on the same spot, it doesn't work. And we got him. All right. So another stage that is pretty stressful. So, okay, what am I doing? That's really, really bad. Okay, that's all right. We have a way around this. So these guys, if they touch me, they'll arrest me and I'm done. Also, all these cactuses that you see, their collision doesn't make any much sense. For some of them, you have to crawl under them, and for others, you can just run into them. Okay, here I'm going to wait a little bit. In a PB attempt, I would just go right away, but yeah, it's pretty dangerous. Going to go to the left side and not do the damage boost since I'm out of health. Okay, and this section is tricky. Okay, so they react based on how far you are, and usually the way it works is that they start looking at you even though you are off screen. So if they get to you, well, you're just done. Okay, now a little bit of a break. I'm going to be able to read the chat a little bit because we take a death right away and then I have nothing to do for like a minute. Yeah, this stage is really weird because you don't really control the bird. You can tell him to go left and right, but whenever you press an input, he will fly up a little bit, just like what you saw there. And yeah, you don't have much time to react to things, as you can see. So yeah, this is definitely the coffee break section. All right, so pressing left just to make sure that I pick up all this. Also, right at the end, you have to make sure not to jump too early. Otherwise, even though you get the animation of Tintin landing, the game tells you that you messed up and you die. Another auto-scroller. This one is a bit more annoying because I have to really focus on this one. These rocks, well, you have really to jump the moment they appear because they deal damage to you, like right there. They deal damage to you really early. Doesn't look like they've reached Tintin when the moment they deal damage. So yeah, this stage is about 3 minutes long. So it's super annoying. It's not great that it took damage right at the start, but we'll deal with it. Also, this stage has a glitch, which is not something that we want to happen at all. From time to time, you won't be able to move Tintin all the way to the left again. So you end up in like the middle section, and yeah, it gets super frustrating to avoid stuff if you're there. Also, these snowballs on the back, yeah, they can deal damage to you, so you have some ice also from time to time on the floor, and if you walk on that, you won't be able to jump for a little while. Whoa, almost got hit there. I really don't like this stage. It's so long. Come on. I think we're almost through. Yeah, this is the end. Here we go. All right, so what's your favorite thing in video games? Escort missions. So here we have to escort Zorino all the way to the end of this level, and they were super creative about what could block Zorino because the solution is almost always different. Like, I don't know how can this help, but it does. So right here we need to quickly run to make sure that this branch gets broken. Okay, a little bit of physics. Okay, that's really bad. That's because I mucked the game a little bit. This one, from time to time, you can just clip through it and fall through, so that's awesome. Ugh. Next section. Oh yeah, this is the one. I have to be careful not to get too close to it because otherwise these flies will murder me. Come on, do your job. Quickly. Alright. This branch, you have to jump on it. This next one, you need to be 2 characters on it to break it. This one before you had to use an animal, but here you can just jump on it. And here we wait a little bit. Is this worse than Tintin in Tibet? As a speedrun, I would say no, because it has less RNG. So, but as a casual playthrough, depends if you read the manual. The manual gives a lot more information about the game compared to Tintin in Tibet. Right here we need this this guy to hit the tree 3 times, so that's another change based on difficulty. And this branch is really annoying because from this side I have to put it down by pressing down. And when I come from the other side, if I do that, it will clip through the floor and disappear. From this side, you have to throw it like that, which doesn't work any other time, so it's super annoying to do. But hey, that's Infogrames for you. That's why this game is here. Okay, coming up, we have a boss fight against an anaconda, which is a pretty cool sequence. We have to pick up this rock. Please attack me. Okay, and now we try to get into a specific rhythm. Oh, no, that's really bad. Going to pick up this life. Hopefully it helps. Okay, I think we are going to take a death here. Well, we'll just try. Let's go for it. Okay, got him. Turn around, and let's try to get into that nice rhythm. The collision to pick up the rock is also terrible. You need... Okay, and here we go. So that's alright. Alright, let's do this again. Worst case, I'll go for the safe strat, which is just doing this. But since we have a little bit of health on the left side, I can still try. On the right side, I can still try to go for the fast strat. Okay, messed up there. Pick it up. So yeah, you don't have much time to actually throw the rock, and it's dead. You can actually pick up this branch to do melee attacks, but the collision is even worse, so... Here we go. And now the easiest level in every Tintin games ever. This stage, I don't think you can actually die in it the first time you play this, because it's really relaxing. There's not much strat to it. The main one is that you can do pedal attacks like that, and you can get rid of some crocodiles to reduce lag, and that's about it. Honestly, this is relaxing. Plus the music is pretty good. So. Alright, so there's also another speed strat in this level. Right at the end, you can activate the trigger early if you're on the right side of the screen. I'll try to remember to do that. It happens a lot that I just zone out in this level because there's really not much to do. Oh, if you want to see a game that I trash talk, come back at 11 o'clock CET later today, because Castlevania for Amiga is really a game that I trash talk. That one is terrible. But yeah, if you want some good Tintin games, the Game Boy version don't have the timer, and as a result they are 100 times better. It's like you can take your time in them. They have also way many more passwords, so they are a lot nicer to play. Next stage is going to be really bad. It's the waterfall stage. Pretty iconic scene in the book. Here you barely got enough time to complete the stage, and some of the traps are really hard to avoid. So, okay, we do a small jump, land, jump over this. Then we have this section where we have to climb, and that floor, it can break. And if I fall down, coming back up is almost impossible because the window for that jump is really tight. Okay. this section is a bit annoying. You need to activate this thing, and for that you need to do it just like that by doing a jump, otherwise it doesn't work. And I'm going to try to activate this thing without getting hit. That's nice. Jumping down. So if you look at the clock at the top right, it's yeah, it's almost at the end. So it's really nerve-wracking as a level when you do speedrun. Here I collect a rope, because obviously that's an object that you can pick up. And the worst jump in this level right here is really precise. Will we get it? No, we didn't get it. So right now the timer is an issue, because I barely got enough time to come back. There's an animation at the end I can't skip, so oh, it's going to be fun. Oh, that's perfect. So will I clear this level? I don't know. This is an animation that plays out. Did I make it? No. This is Tintin for you, so I love it. This is why my estimate is so high, because the final stretch of this game is really terrible, and when I clear this level you'll see that I missed maybe like 2 seconds. It's just nonsense. Alright. Alright, let's redo this whole thing again. This time I'll just damage boost through this and okay, so we'll have a little bit more time this time if I have to miss that jump again. So hopefully that will be enough to take us to the end. No, I need that health. Actually, I don't need it. But yeah, so we wasted the little time that would have helped to clear this level if I mess up again. Ah, Tintin. No, too early. I'm going to die again. Yeah, it's over. So we're going to take a game over quickly because we've only 1 life left. It's kind of dangerous to go to the next stage because, well, if I die in the next stage, actually I think I just have to stay there. If I die in the next stage, well, I have to redo this one again, and I don't want to do that. All right. If I mess up again, if I get another game over, I'll lower the difficulty just to make sure that the timer is no longer an issue. To be fair, I'm glad I timed out because I love showing that to people. The fact that it's a cutscene, you can't do anything and you can just time out. The same thing could happen in Tintin in Tibet, and that's glorious. You complete the stage and the game says no. Alright, come on. Yeah, I didn't have to jump there, but that's alright. Not much of an issue. Come on. This time it will work. Also, this jump is so annoying. The collisions in this are just awful. Okay, we made it. Also, that animation actually starts earlier, so if you just walk past that rock, Tintin walks a little bit before reaching the rope. So it's a nice time escape to just jump near the tree. All right, this jump is tricky. We got it. Otherwise, you have to climb a few sections, and it's yeah, it's a pain. It's annoying. Yeah, another maze, and this is the actual path that you're supposed to take. So, right here. So far you would say, yeah, that's weird, but it's not that bad. But afterwards, the path that you're supposed to take is right here. That pickup that you saw on the right side, it's a trap. There's a hole right below it. Alright, so final jump that can make me lose a lot of time, and here we go. What's the path again? I'm completely lost. Okay, maybe we'll have enough time. I hate this so much. At least I can damage boost this time, so will I have enough time to clear this level? The game does that a lot, like they put you a stupid jump right at the end. And yeah, afterwards you just time out. Come on. That's why I didn't want to... I took the game over earlier. Yeah, we made it, but now will I make it to the end? Come on, Tintin. Alright, the exit to the stage. It's kind of confusing because it's actually... Oh no, I need to move to the foreground. Quickly! We made it! We made it! Thank God. So now we have this puzzle. This was supposed to be the final stage of the game, but the infogram was like, we can't have a platform game ending on a puzzle, so they added another stage afterwards. That doesn't make much sense based on the comic book, but here we are. This puzzle, it's based on difficulty, so it's always the same thing that you have to do, it's just change based on the difficulty, so I'm used to this difficulty level. Also, they make everything disappear after when the timer reaches, I think it's half the time of the stage. So first time it's a bit annoying. Okay, final stage. This is an auto-scroller. It can be really mean because most of these things don't activate based on Tintin position, but just on the screen position itself. I'm taking the lower path because that's really the easiest one, even though there's a life pretty high on the higher path, but yeah, I'm not going there. This is bad. This is bad. I might take a death here. Okay, we're almost through. Here there's a rock coming at us, and we should be fine. Right at the end I'll do a damage boost, and usually that's enough to clear the stage. Yeah, here we go. So I must be careful not to be too far to the right, because right at the end the game takes over and Tintin speeds up, and if he runs out of the screen, it just you lose a life. Phew, and here we go. That's it. We made it. It's time once this cutscene ends. And here we go. That's Tintin Prisoners of the Sun. Phew, this game is nerve-wracking. I hope you enjoyed it. I would highly recommend just to try it out. Just to, I mean, realize how bad this game can be. So, with all these emotions, I don't remember what's coming up next, I think. But I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I'll be back in a few hours. I'll be doing a race on Alien 2 for the MSX with Tenmiku. So until then, enjoy the marathon and see you later. Back to the host.